grasped their jobs right away and performed without hesitation. Coach White's system worked. The Fever were no longer merely getting by without Clark, because players like McDonald, and by filled roles they weren't initially signed for, they were succeeding. However, they weren't the only ones who made history that evening. The Fever were quietly setting records that had never been broken in the team's history, while everyone was watching the score. First ever WNBA teammates to record at least 10 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals in a single game were Boston and Natasha Howard. Take a moment to consider that. No two teammates had ever combined to reach such totals in a single night in the WNBA's history. Boston recorded 3 steals, 1 block, 5 assists, 12 points, and 11 rebounds. With 11 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. Howard equaled her. Observe the attention Boston receives. For the guards, it opens up a lot. Boston is here. There was nothing Bueckers could do, not a rebound. Howard, in addition to her 9 points, that is her 9th rebound, Boston is served a lovely dish. Here, we'll share the basketball to Boston, just a tiny dump. Tarrington rolls to the hole, he says. You have to go up strong right there, Howard. Even though you were rejected to the basket, let's focus on Howard's 16 rebounds in particular. For her, it was a career high. She dominated the boards as if she were competing against athletes from high school. Boston's 11 bounce helped her extend her double-double streak to 5 games, although she has been reliable throughout the season. This effort shown that she could step up when the team most needed it. Howard Boston at the hoop receives that pass outside. Haley Jones is in violation to get her off the basket. Can't move her geographically out of the lane. There's a difficult rebound. The guile shooter will emerge. The Euro is going to check in. That's not all, though. Following the All-Star break, Kelsey Mitchell now leads the WNBA in the most 20-point games. She scored 23 points against Dallas, her 13th game with 20 points or more this season. Even when other players falter, Mitchell's consistent scoring threat keeps this attack going. The 100 defeats Phoenix. That was referred to as a major win by Stephanie White. There is no former Dallas wing named Danny Mitchell. Howard, Natasha. This was not sought after. That is the play to make right there, but we believe Kelsey Mitchell will shoot. The passing lane was empty. This is when things start to get interesting. In her first 3 games with the Fever, Chloe Bai made several 3-pointers, setting a franchise record. Not only were those 2 3-pointers she made good shots, they created history. No other Fever player had ever made 3 3-pointers in their first 3 games as a member of the squad. Aari McDonald has the 4th record in Fever history player to amass 150 points and 50 assists. Tama Catchings and Caitlin Clark are the only players on that list that are ranked higher than her. For someone who wasn't even on the roster 3 months ago, that's elite company. McDonald's ability to both score and assist has been essential. In his job as a point guard, for us, we have to win games whenever we have the opportunity to truly position ourselves to do so. Any competitor, I believe, is aware that when we say win them, we mean it. We also took some time off, and I believe we received a small drop-off today, and I believe she is referring to that. It was not consistent. We could have done a little bit better, in my opinion. This wasn't luck, as evidenced by the 4 records. In a single night, this was a team discovering who they were and demonstrating what they could do with everyone's help. They possessed unprecedented front-court supremacy. Thanks to the Boston-Howard combo, Mitchell delivered the reliable scoring blow by instantly expanded the floor. The big fireworks happened after the final buzzer, but McDonald led the offensive like a pro. You obviously signed a full contract with this team just in the middle of the season. Aari, congratulations, but only consider the entire effect of AR. How are you feeling? It's unbelievable, I must say, as if this were a disguised blessing. We never fail to express our gratitude to her. Really, the subtle message that Fever supporters had been hoping to hear was included in Kelsey Mitchell's post-game remarks. Following their historic victory, the locker room was a hive of activity. After setting for records in a single night, the players were still feeling great. Mitchell approached the microphones with assurance that came through in every word she said. Despite her remarks seeming innocent, there was something more sinister going on. When some players weren't available, Mitchell commended her teammates for stepping up and taking their places. She emphasized Arie McDonald's contributions in particular, stating, "This is our blessing in disguise." When you take into account the recent roster changes, that statement sounds different. Our season was obviously all over the place with, the players who were on the team, the players who weren't, injuries, and, well, 2 of them not being around as much because of her injuries. It takes a lot for a professional to step up and, be where her feet are and step and fill in shoes that, a lot of people don't expect. Additionally, I believe that Eric compliments me and every other player so well because she simply understands the chemistry and where people are. And I believe that in order for us to show her our appreciation, we must continue to give her pats on the back because she is doing incredibly well, and this is a large position to fill. A shout out to you then. Thank you. This is when things start to get interesting. Mitchell made a sly jab at Dana Bonner's exit from the team when he said that Donald was a